Are the 49ers trying to make special teams great again? Let's get it. Welcome to the Cayman's Island podcast, where we talk all things San Francisco 49ers. I'm your host, David Cayman. And in today's show, I really want to talk about special teams, guys. I know that the first week of OTAs has just ended. Not a lot of news since, the Fred Warner signing, the Brock Purdy signing. Those extensions are done. Not a lot to talk about right now, but there has been a lot of movement with the San Francisco 49ers special teams, and I think it's important to note that the Niners have obviously realized just how impactful, just how bad special teams played a role in the overall poor performance last year from the team. The 49ers actually ranked dead last in the NFL in special teams EPA. That's basically the expected points added. So the 49ers actually lost 47 and a half expected points over 16 weeks. Guys, that's more than a loss of 3 points per game. As you can imagine, that played a critical factor. There were several teams, several games last year, if you just look at how terrible punt, bad field position played a factor in big time momentum swings throughout the year. One of the games that really stood out to me is the Lions game. I believe Jake Moody missed 2 field goals, an extra point. We ended up losing the game by 6 points. It was really bad last year. And it's kind of clear to see that, with the new special teams coordinator, Brant Boyer, coming in here from the Jets, you can kind of almost see that he is bringing in some of his guys. And I think there's going to be a big time emphasis placed on, if we just stop losing games on special teams, that would be an improvement. If we could just go from dead last to middle of the road, I think that it increases our chances of winning exponentially. So you look at some of the moves that the Niners have made. Mitch Musowski has been released. He was dealing with back injuries, multiple injury issues, and we have now signed veteran punter Thomas Morstead. He's kind of been a stalwart his entire punting career. I'm excited about that. I think we need more consistency there. Don't get me wrong, Mitch did some good things, but last year just wasn't it. Missed most of the season with those injuries. So we've got Thomas Morstead coming in here that I think I kind of know what he's going to do. He's always had a really good net punting average. I think that's going to give us some stability there. And the fact that Jake Moody now has some competition on his hands with Greg Joseph being brought in, I think this is a big deal. If we could just be honest, I believe that if Jake Moody wasn't a 3rd round pick, he probably would have already been replaced at kicker. I remember back in college that Jake always had a strong leg, was a very, very good kicker. I really feel like he was a number 1 kicker coming out in the draft that year. Definitely would not have spent a 3rd round pick on a kicker, but that's beside the point. But if it wasn't for the fact that he was a 3rd round pick, I think he'd already be gone. It's a shame because I think he does have the intangibles. I do think that he has what it takes to make kicks. In fact, you look at how he kind of started last year. Last year, he came out the gate super hot, making, I believe, 13 out of 14 field goals. Then in week 5, he got that real bad ankle sprain, missed some games. And when he came back, he just mentally, he was shot. He was all over the place. And the numbers that I'm about to give you here really doesn't even truly tell the tale, because it really looks better. It really looks better on paper than honestly what it actually was. So the 49ers made 33 out of 43 field goals for 76.7%. That is below the league average. Not to mention the fact that when Jake was out, we brought in a few kickers that came in and didn't miss any of their field goals. Okay? So Jake went 13 of 14 to start the year and ended up still missing a total of 10 kicks. That's bad, guys. Not to mention, you look at some of the games where we just punt coverage just bad for whatever reason. I can't figure, even with Jake having, such a strong leg, man, if we're going to struggle that much on kick return coverage, why not just kick the ball out of the end zone every single opportunity? I know Jake has the leg for that. What really has me scratching my head, and I appreciate the fact that Brant Boyer is bringing in different guys, bringing guys that he's familiar with. I think just the attention that's being placed on special teams alone is instantly going to improve our special teams. I do not see us being ranked dead last. I actually anticipate us being in the better half, the top half of the league next year in special teams, just with the emphasis that's being placed, just with a different coaching mentality and mindset. But if I would say one thing about the overarching problem that I have, more so than anything, more so than, how bad our punting was, our field goals, our coverage, was just the sheer lack of attention. It's almost like Kyle Shanahan just kind of glossed over that. I know he has a singular focus a lot of times with his play calling, but I mean, it was so bad and so blatant. I kind of feel like, why, as a head coach, you've got to recognize week after week after week, you're basically giving away a field goal, giving away 3 points every single week due to the lack of preparation of your special teams. As a head coach, you need to make a move. You need to make some adjustments. And frankly, that wasn't done. I don't know, and I'm not making an excuse for the team. I'm not making an excuse for Kyle, but it's like, was the whole team just super tired, mentally exhausted? I mean, from just an outside observer, you could clearly see that special teams was just a train wreck, just a disaster. And I really, frankly, I just don't understand why it wasn't addressed sooner. But I'm super pumped. I'm super happy about the moves that's been made. I'm happy we have Thomas Morstead. I'm confident that's going to bring some stability to the punting game. I'm very happy to see Greg Joseph come in and compete with Jake Moody. I'm rooting for Jake Moody, man. I don't want anyone to lose their situation. My prayer is that he gets back in the lab, he focuses. I hear that he's actually making some adjustments to his kicking stance, his planting. It may take a little bit of power off, but overall increase his accuracy in his kicks, and I think that's definitely what he needs. I'm rooting for him for sure. I hope he can get it turned around. Like I said, he made 13 out of 14 to start the year. Hopefully he can have, similar success. Stay healthy, Jake. Don't try to go out there and linebacker tackle somebody, on a kickoff return. I appreciate you willing to sacrifice your body, man, but we need you out there. We need you out there making kicks, getting your kicking mentality back for this 2025 season. Tell me what you think, guys. Do you think that the adjustments the Niners have made, the focus, the attention that they are taking this offseason in the special teams will make a difference? If you like what you saw today, please remember to like and subscribe. As always, take care. Be blessed.